I turn it to you.
Well, so next month's meeting is gonna be, I think, more earthquake focused, so I was just gonna take a couple minutes to talk about the earthquake that happened last week. And maybe that'll help the presenters for next month too. So from the fire agency's point of view, and this is kind of what I just heard on the radio, plus I can talk about the Northern Sonoma County Fire District and Lance will talk about Healdsburg, but it wasn't like pandemonium, if you will. It wasn't like the end of the world, like bridges collapsing and things like that. And every earthquake's a little bit different, so I just wanted to talk about this one because maybe the next one will be really bad. But the common calls that people called for and realized people didn't always call 911 was broken water lines and broken gas lines, or the smell of smoke, or the pilot light went out, or something along those lines.
Smoke or gas? They smelled smoke or gas?
Gas, sorry,
Okay.
gas. So probably some people just called PG&E directly and never called the fire department, so it's hard to quantify the exact numbers. But that appeared to be the common call, and more so for Santa Rosa, the urban areas, and Healdsburg City, I think, got a couple calls too.
We got a couple calls. But.
Yeah, and that's people that are on PG&E piped gas. You guys probably are on propane tanks, the more rural areas, or I want to stereotype profile you guys. So
Architect.
so it might be a little bit different in your situation, but that would seem to be the common call type. So it reminded me, like, you know how to shut your gas off, whether it's PG&E, propane, you know how to shut your water off. Those are all good things to do, because if there's 1,000 people calling about the smell of gas, we'll get to you eventually. Or it might just be PG&E shuts off everybody at a main height, but we just got to think about that. That was the most common call we got. So people didn't call about landslides, trees down. I'm sure stuff fell off people's shelves and walls. So that was, we didn't get those types of calls. There's no public assist or people that, fell and could get up. So it's, every call's different, or every earthquake's different, and I know it's gonna be talked about next month, but maybe if you guys have any questions or want the presenters next month to talk about, like Rhonda brought up, or, what the fire department did, assess our station and did that type of thing, but it was kind of, I hate to say it, almost like a non-event, at least for the north part of the county. I can't say it's gonna be the way every time, but that's kind of the fire district's point of view. And then you want to talk about the city at all?
Yeah, we very similar to that. We had, like you said, a couple of calls. We have a protocol at the fire station where our crews know to go open the garage doors right away and wait to make sure they open so we can get out if we need to. So they do that, and it was a good time for us to practice that, and they did that. I happened to be with Chief Boz at a Cal Chiefs conference in Sacramento, so there was a bunch of fire chiefs that went off, and then all of a sudden you saw a bunch of Santa Rosa people leave. So for the most part, everybody was on the phone right away, checking in, and realized that there wasn't the panic, there wasn't the the issues. But it did make me think. We've trained, and we always talk about what happens if we get disconnected from the north or the south, right? And so in a major earthquake, that's a possibility with the bridges that come up the freeway, and then of course our little bridge in Healdsburg here. So. Having that one, it's funny, growing up in a rural area, we always had enough food for 2, 3, 4 weeks. So it's kind of, we always had that where I grew up. But I think now we're so prepared to evacuate for a fire and get out and then go somewhere that has all that stuff, right? So it's a little bit of a mindset change to make sure that you're prepared, that you have those supplies. And I think it was a lovely reminder. Hopefully it'll also relieve some pressure from fault lines and get all the right things that shake is supposed to do. But it's a good reminder for us all to shift that preparedness for sure.
Marshall, historically speaking, have we had a major earthquake in Sonoma County?
I think the last one was in 1991, October. I get Oklahoma's fire mixed up here.
Yeah.
Third Thursday of the month.
Yeah. Was it October 20th? 91. That was like the last major one.
What was the Richter scale?
It was like somewhere in the 5s or 6s, but there wasn't a lot of damage.
Wasn't a lot of damage. Was it really
The
deep?
last nearest to us was Napa.
Napa,
County
yeah.
had one, and that caused some damage.
Yeah.
And that was in this, I think August, September, kind of. It was in the summer.
2012.
Yeah, just like yesterday.
But I thought during the 06 earthquake that Santa Rosa was level.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it suffered.
Yeah,
It's
apparently the Rogers Creek fault is attached in some way to the San Andreas fault. So a large San Andreas eruption would cause significant shaking on the Rogers Creek Fault as well. So it's a twofer.
And I'm not an expert on geology, I think we have someone in the room that might know more than me. And that's the purpose of next month's meeting. But I just wanted to kind of talk about this. It could have been really bad, but it wasn't really bad. I don't think we should get complacent, we gotta be prepared, but that's, from the first responder side, kind of the extent of what we responded to.
Nothing close to it is a fire that.
No, and that's like the
Event
worst
that
case,
you have
right? Either a building collapse or a fire
disaster.
starts, and then we don't have anybody helping us because they got their fires. When you look around, we do have pipelines, we got the wastewater being pumped to the geysers that comes through here, we got gas pipelines. So we do have a little bit of vulnerability. I think most buildings are built better, overcrossings are built better now than 1906 for sure. But like Lance was saying, it's a different mindset than a wildfire too.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk a little about the MyShake app. So I saw a lot on Facebook, especially on Windsor, how, because I actually posted on a Facebook page and asked, did you get it before or during? Most of them got it during or right after.
The notification
The
from the
notification, yeah,
From the MyShake app?
Yes.
Or from the social alert?
MyShake app.
There was no social.
Was
Not alert, Cal.
Yeah, that was from.
USGS.
Cal US, okay.
Yeah.
They're saying from that app.
And then people were saying, oh, Napa got the alert before we did, the quake hit, and I felt it so much up. Okay, that's not the way it happens. The alert goes out to everyone at the same time. So what you're seeing is the different travel time and earthquake waves through the earth, okay? So there is limited, the technology is very limited these days just because of the way we are. So the earthquake occurs, it has to travel through the ground to hit one of the sensors. Okay, and depends, travel time is dependent on the material it's going through, its depth of the earthquake, a lot of different things. But it hits the sensor, that's sent to, I believe, still to Berkeley. You see Berkeley, it's kind of analyzed, they get a little information, and then it's sent out to our phones. So you think about it, I mean, it's really quick, but that takes time. So I saw in an article that those people that were in a 9-mile radius of the epicenter actually received it during or after. And that's just a factor of the way the waves travel through Earth and the technology. So in reality, those areas that are going to get hit hardest are right around the epicenter. So that's just the way the things are. Hopefully it'll improve in the future. But what I really want to stress is that people, when you hear that alert, you still don't have seconds. It's not like, we get watch duty, you go look at your phone, oh, look, it's over here. You drop, cover, hold. If you can grab your phone on the way, cool. But if not, forget the phone, yes.
That's a really good point, we're so used to.
Yeah.
Gotta look it up on the map, wanna get the details.
And are you guys gonna talk about the apps next month? Cause some people sign up for some of these apps, some are default apps, right? That'll be talked about next month.
Yeah, we can do that.
I don't have an app, so I don't know, but I did get an alert.
But remember, you need cell phone coverage or infrastructure to work for you
Right.
too, but
Yeah.
it'd be good to know about the apps for
Yeah,
next
I
month.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about an earthquake is you feel it. You do feel, and immediately you can react, right?
You feel it, but it takes a while for it to register,
Yeah.
okay? So every time it takes a while. So like mine, I literally thought a plane hit my house.
Whoa.
Because it was that big of a jolt and there was a sound coming from above. And by the
You're by an
time,
airport.
by the time I processed, oh, it's a quake, and I got under, well, it was halfway through.
Right. Yeah, because you stop and try to figure out what is happening.
Yes, yes.